Welcome back, guys, to episode 16 of Kick Like a Girl podcast. We have Bri Reed with us today. Thank you for joining.
Of course.
What have you been doing? How are you? What's new?
I'm good. We had a game yesterday against Preston. We won 4-1, which was nice after having a string of, I think we had 2 draws and then a loss in the cup. So this was good to get back on a good foot for the last few games.
Yep. Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So you are our second American guest.
Yes.
We just had Catherine Zimmerman on 2 weeks ago. Born and raised in Titan Falls, New Jersey. Tintin. Look, some of these names on here, like, don't get me started about like the Swedish teams.
I'll take care of the international ones.
Yes. You can just fill in the blanks. Born in New Jersey.
Yep.
How was that growing up? African American dad, Dominican Republic mum.
Yes.
Any siblings?
Yes, I have a younger sister. So we're 6 years apart. And we are so similar in personalities, but very different in our interests. So I can't say athlete because she'll get mad at me. I'm the soccer player and she is a dancer. So she's classically trained in ballet, and it's been fun having that dynamic because, like, never in my life really would I thought I'd go to ballets and plays and things like that. But because she's interested in that, I've grown up kind of going to things like that, which has been a really fun dynamic.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So what sports did you try? I hear it wasn't always football, so a bit of gymnastics.
Yeah, I did gymnastics. That was probably my first love. I did a bit of basketball. My dad played basketball in college and like in some leagues when I was growing up. And my mom has no athletic ability whatsoever. What else? I did some track and field, and that was kind of like my sport world. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice. Track and field makes sense because you're quite like a very good runner.
Yeah,
That's something I've noticed.
My technique.
Yeah.
I give it all the credit to track and field.
Yeah. What do you think some of the advantages of that is, like bringing that into soccer, even gymnastics, like flexibility?
Yeah.
Throw-ins?
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about your throw-ins.
Yeah, so I do the flip throw-in.
I've seen certain videos.
Yeah, I've done one this season, but I did gymnastics for 10 years, so I had a lot of training, and one day my dad was like, I guess he saw it on a game somewhere, and he's like, you should try this. And as a gymnast, you're pretty fearless. So I was like, okay, why not? It seems a little bit ridiculous, but we had mats. We put them out in the backyard and kind of messed around a few times. And it went well. It was just hard getting coaches to agree to let me to do it because they're like, I don't want the liability if you break your neck.
Getting injured.
Which I don't blame them. But.
Yeah. I've seen that here and there. Girls trying.
Yeah.
Or even just like doing gymnastics at training.
Mm-hmm.
Like just at the end or whatever, just mucking around, and the coach is always like,
yeah.
I do not want to know. Like, please don't hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Red Bank Catholic High School.
Mm-hmm.
Is that when you started playing soccer?
I actually started playing. When did I start playing? I started playing when I was 5, but it was just like, little rec leagues. I probably didn't take soccer seriously until I was about 13.
Yeah.
I had an injury in gymnastics, so I stopped doing that. And then I also got to the point where they were like, you need to pick between gymnastics and soccer because both were taking up a lot of my time.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, well, I lost my favorite coach in gymnastics. He moved away. I had an injury. I wasn't as fearless as I was anymore. And I was like, well, I still have soccer. Like, let's focus on this. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how that came about. And that's when I would say that I like actually started like properly training and caring about soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So 3 years there, varsity track team.
Mm-hmm.
And 2012, Monmouth. So
Close.
County triple and long jump champion.
Yes.
So you had originally started with long jump and got into triple jump?
Yeah, exactly. Right? I only went to track and field because it was the off season of our school soccer season, and I was like, I want to do something to keep me in shape while we're not playing. Mm-hmm. So I knew I liked long jump because I had done it in years past, and I only planned on doing jumping, but of course they rope you into more. Mm-hmm. So I ended up doing the 100, the 200, the 400, the 4x4.
Everything.
Yeah, pretty much. Anything that they
down.
could throw me, but I was like, I will never run the 800. Don't put me higher than 400. That's not for me.
Yeah, just one. What's that, one lap?
Yeah, exactly. 400, one lap. I can do that. It's exhausting, but I can manage.
You can do it.
But then my senior year, my coach was like, you should try triple jump. And my dad did triple jump and high jump in high school. And he's like, you'd be good at it. But it didn't look fun to me because like the pounding, with the landings, I was like, I feel like as a soccer player, like my knees are not going to appreciate that.
Yeah. A bit harsh.
But I actually I think my gymnastics ability helped just because of like the strides and leaping and my flexibility.
Yeah.
And I ended up loving it and kind of sad that I started it so late.
Yeah, right. You should try now.
I don't know about that, but these knees, they say no.
College. Mm-hmm. So,
Rutgers.
Oh my gosh. These names are killing me. Okay, the Knights.
Yeah, the Scarlet Knights. Let's go with that.
Scarlet Knights. 4 years during college.
Yeah.
Now, my thoughts for college is that you don't play in the first year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's probably a misconception, but yeah, is that rare? Because you had 19 appearances in your freshman year.
Yeah. I would say a lot of players do come in kind of knowing that your freshman year is your learning year. You get your feet, unless you're like the top recruit player. Most freshmen get a little bit of playing time here and there, but they're just kind of along for the ride.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was also surprised at the amount of minutes that I got because Rutgers was kind of a stretch school for me. I didn't know that I was going to be able to play Division I soccer, but when I found out that I was good enough, that I was like, I want to pick the highest level possible and just see how it goes.
Yeah.
So I was surprised by the amount of minutes I was playing. However, I wasn't playing center back. I was playing outside back.
Yeah,
and that is not my natural position. I learned a lot in outside back.
Outside back.
Fullback.
Yeah.
I know.
There we go. Left back or right back.
Yeah. But yeah, I was just happy to get any minutes that I could, that I was like, you can put me wherever and I'll try.
Yeah. Amazing. Sophomore year, second year, played all 22 matches.
Mm-hmm.
You got your first goal versus Connecticut.
Yep.
2013.
Yes.
Do you remember that day?
I do. It was a very unimpressive goal, but a goal nonetheless. I'm pretty sure it was a corner kick and it was just kind of bouncing around and I just toe poked it and watched it go in.
Yeah.
But still an exciting moment.
Goal's a goal. Take it. And junior year, all 20 matches as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got it. So centre back, you said you just played full back.
Yeah.
Outside back. Was centre back kind of where you always ended up? Like, were you like one of the taller players, or why do you think?
I don't even know if I was one of the taller players. I truly, now that I think about it, I don't know how I ended up at center back. I think I'm definitely not naturally a midfielder. I don't have that 360 vision.
Yeah.
So I think they just bypassed that and they're like, all right, one line back. But I definitely like playing in the center. But my junior year was a good year. But sophomore year, I thought I was going to be playing fullback again. But right at the beginning of preseason, the girl who was playing center back quit. She was just like, I'm done. I don't want to play football anymore. I've had enough.
Yeah, right.
So they didn't really have a choice but to play me. Like, it was my turn. It was now or never. And it was definitely a learning year, but I felt like I kind of found my footing. And that's probably when I solidified that I was like, okay, I'm a center back now.
Yeah. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Junior female athlete of the year. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have like a end of the year gala similar to teams here, but this one was for all the sports in the university. And yeah, it was junior female athlete of the year, which was a cool award. But they told me that I wasn't going to have to make a speech when I got the award. And then I got up there and they're like, your speech. And I was like, I want to thank my teammates and my coaches. It was the shortest, most awkward speech. But I was like, you told me I didn't have to say anything.
Yeah, what a stitch up. Oh my gosh. I'd have been so mad.
Yeah, I was.
2016, signed with Kansas City. 18th pick in college draft.
Yeah.
College draft, is that literally like what you see on the movies? And like, It's very American. Like,
yes.
Is it full, like, sit down, watch the screen sort of
yep.
vibe? Yeah.
Over the years, they've done a better job with, like, the media around it. So your senior year, you enter your name into the draft, which is, like, if you have any interest in playing in the NWSL, you put your name in so teams know that you want to play. Huh. And then the draft comes around in January, and I had a good senior year. So my coach kind of hinted at me. He was like, maybe you want to go to the draft because maybe you might get drafted. I think he knew more than he was letting on, but didn't want to get my hopes up. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was only about 3 hours for me. So I took myself and my parents down to Baltimore and sat in the room where they just sit and you're just waiting for your name to be called. And at the moment that I was about to be called, I had my shoes off and I put them back on. I was like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Like, I don't know when my name's going to be called. And someone was like, please sit down. Like, don't go to the bathroom right now. I was like, okay, I'll just wait. And then they called my name.
How long do those things go for?
Probably like a 3-hour ordeal.
Yeah, right.
So you're sitting around for a while.
Yeah, what if you're like last?
Yeah, if the last person's just sitting there like,
I'm never
do I even know if it's going to be my name or not?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that sounds so nerve-wracking.
It was.
Oh man. So your first year, 7 appearances with Kansas City. 5 starts, 7 wins, 8 draws, 5 losses.
Yeah.
6th place. So, yeah, how was that sort of playing against... Was that like a dream of yours at any point, or did it kind of just roll on effect?
Yeah, it was one of those roll on effect. I didn't grow up, I was like, I'm going to be a professional soccer player.
Yeah, okay.
Things just kind of started adding up. I was like, oh, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I can do this.
Cool.
But once you got to my senior year, I was like, okay, it would be really cool to play in the NWSL. And it was such a good experience, but it was like being thrown into a pond all over again where you're the new person. I was at trainings and I was like, what am I doing here? I'm competing for a spot with Becky Sauerbrunn, who's the national team captain. Like, what am I doing? Yeah. It was just, and I thought I was playing at a high level in college, and I was like, oh, I can't get much faster than this. And then I got to those trainings and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, wow.
So it was definitely a wake-up call that first year, and I was happy to get the minutes that I got. But even playing in those games, I was just like, it was overwhelming.
Yeah. Wow. That's so cool.
Yeah. I did a full year at Kansas City and then another half year, kind of hoping that things would change. I was like, maybe I'll get more minutes.
Okay.
But nothing was really changing. And I had a conversation with the coach, and he was like, he was really great. He was like, if you were my daughter and she was in this position, he was like, I'd go tell you to get more experience because I don't feel comfortable playing you yet because you don't have the experience. And I was like, that's fair. I appreciate that. And I had a teammate on that team that was like, you should go play in Sweden. I have a team that I played at. They need a center back. And I was like, that's really far. And I don't know Swedish. And I consider myself a bit of a homebody. I guess not so much anymore.
Yeah.
But the idea of moving across across the ocean to another country.
The world,
was a bit scary. But it was only for 3 months. And I was like, I can do this for 3 months. If I hate it, I'll come back and it'll be fine. But yeah, I ended up going to Kvarnsveden. The easier name is KIK.
Okay.
And it was in the middle of the Swedish forest, and it was not at all what I thought like my first international experience was going to be. I expected to be in Stockholm in the city.
Yeah, like right in there.
Exactly,
yeah.
And I was not. But it was a beautiful little town, but a little town. Like there was one pub, and everybody who lived in the town worked at the paper mill, and we all went to the paper mill to get our lunch. So it was very small town vibes.
Wow. So yeah, just not what you expected.
Not at all.
Like, where am I?
Yeah.
Do you have phone reception?
Yes, and we had an IKEA, so that was exciting. That was the biggest thing in town.
So Swedish. That's so like stereotypical.
That was my off-day treat, was to go to IKEA.
Yeah. That's hilarious. So 11 appearances for that team. Mm-hmm. Then you signed for another Swedish team
called Eskilstuna United.
Awesome. Why the move? Was that the year after?
Yeah, so that team that I was on, KIK, ended up getting relegated, so I was scrambling to find a new team. Right. But the coach that I had at that team moved to this team, Eskilstuna, and he wasn't the best coach I ever had, but I was kind of hustling, and I was like, I need a team. This team did well last year. Let me at least go with him and see how it goes.
Yeah.
And he ended up getting fired halfway through the season, which I wasn't surprised because he was not qualified.
Right. Okay.
But it got me there. But early in the season, I think even before the season started, it might have been a preseason game. I had like something with my back. It just like seized up in one of the games. And it was my first, I guess, real injury.
Yeah.
Because it kept me out for 5 months. And like I was only walking, like I was allowed to power walk as my exercise.
Right.
Yeah, and I tried all different kind of treatments. I did acupuncture, chiropractor. I was going to physical therapy, and nothing was getting better. So I wanted to come back home and get some treatment because Sweden is pretty conservative with the treatment that they'll provide. It's much more holistic than America.
Right.
So I went home for a few months, got it treated, and I came back and fully expected to be like, I was like, oh, my back's healed. I should be fine. Not remembering that I'd only been walking for the past 5 months. So my ability was not very good. And I was shocked because that was my first injury. I was like, why am I not good? Why do I suck right now?
Yeah.
So it took a while to kind of get back on my feet, but I ended up going on loan to another team, which was the worst team I ever played for. We lost every game.
Oh.
But it was fun. Like I had 2 Americans and a Canadian, and we had a lot of fun outside of football. Yeah. So it was a balance.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. One of those seasons.
Yeah.
Cool. So that was your time in Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
Denmark. Tell us about Denmark, your team.
FC Nordsjælland. In short, FCN.
You were there for 4?
Almost 4. Just
almost
short
4
of 4,
years,
yeah.
59 appearances.
Mm-hmm.
You won the 2020 Danish Cup. I wanted to ask, was COVID much of a thing over there?
It was and it wasn't. It just, everything kind of cleared out pretty quickly. So March of 2020, when things were starting to pick up, we got word of it. And then like in a week, they were like, okay, we're going to be shutting borders. And I was like, well, I don't want to be stuck in Denmark if we're going to shut down borders. So I went home for maybe like a month and a half. And then I got a call and they were like, Denmark's open back up. Our league's going to start again. We're going to play a condensed season. There were a lot of like protocols. We got tested every day and there were no fans. And it was very strict for obvious reasons. But it was just so strange because we were playing again, whereas I was just at home where people were washing down their groceries coming from home and there was curfews. And here I was back in Denmark. It was summer. Everybody was outside. Some people were wearing masks, some weren't. It wasn't really mandated.
Right.
So it felt like such a strange shift. But I actually think Denmark was one of the first countries to open back up to football. So my COVID year was not very... COVID didn't influence it that much.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lucky you weren't here.
Yeah, I heard.
I mean, I wasn't here either, but I heard, and yeah.
Melbourne was locked down.
Yeah, most lockdown in the world, I think, apart from China.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. Let's talk about the Dominican Republic.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously, your mum's from there, so
yes.
you're eligible to play... Could you play for United States as well? How does that sort of work?
So as soon as I played my first international cap with the Dominican Republic, it essentially nulled my ability to be able to play with the U.S.
Yeah.
I'd never been called into any of the U.S. national team youth camps, so I wasn't very hopeful for a full team call-up.
Yeah.
But I also didn't really know about the Dominican Republic national team. I had thoughts about it years ago, and I was like, I wonder if they have a team. I did some Wikipedia research and it was just like, did not compete, did not compete, did not compete. And I was like, is that because they don't have a team or is it because they just haven't entered these tournaments? I didn't know what it was. Then I kind of let it go. And then in 2021, earlier that year, the idea came up again because I think I saw someone post something about it and I was like, okay, so there is a team.
Right.
How do I get on it?
Yeah.
So
where do I apply?
I sent my dad into like full research mode and he found some emails and we wrote a letter to the federation basically like, hi, I'm Brianne. I'm Dominican. You might not know it because my name doesn't look like it. So my mom's name is Yolanda Mercedes Perez.
Oh, wow.
And my name is Brianne Taylor Reed. So it doesn't exactly line up. So they didn't know I was Dominican.
Did your dad name you?
Yes.
Yeah.
And his name is Brian. It's very selfish. Brian and Brianne.
Oh,
Yeah.
mix. Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we sent that letter and they're like, we'd love for you to play for us. We didn't know you were Dominican. So I got my first call up in July of 2021.
Cool.
And we played in Panama, a game against Nicaragua. And then I missed the one against Panama because I had to go to preseason. But it was the coolest experience and truly like so emotional. Just getting to represent my mom's country.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, not everyone can say they've represented that country.
Yeah, and it was just such a shock too because I'd only ever thought about the U.S. national team.
Right.
And I was like, it never crossed my mind of like, oh, you could play for this one.
Yeah.
And the fact that I now get to play for a national team is still like a shock to me every time I get a call up.
Yeah, that's so cool. Hopefully you can still continue that.
Yeah, I hope so.
That's awesome. That brings us to... So you were pretty much there, and then when did Australia come on the scene? You thought you'd move here?
It was...
Had you been before?
Never been before.
Never been?
But it was kind of a thought in my mind. Zim, who we talked about at the beginning, she's been here for, I don't know, maybe like 4 years now. And we grew up playing a bit of club soccer together. And every now and then I would check on her Instagram and I was like, wow, she's still in Australia. Like,
she's loving it.
Exactly. So I sent her a message and I was like, what do you think? Like, I'm considering coming to Australia. Give me some updates. And she told me about it. And I know Zim and I know her work rate and the level that she likes to play at. And I was like, if she's been here this long, I feel like this is something that I would like as well. Mm-hmm. So I had an Australian teammate in Denmark. And I mentioned it to her and she was like, yeah, like I can help you get some contacts. I can put you in contact with some people. And in a matter of like 8 days, I had 5 teams reaching out and I had to make a decision in a week because the window was closing.
Right.
So it all happened very fast.
Yeah, right.
But it's funny because it actually came down to South Melbourne and Heidelberg as my last 2 teams.
Oh my gosh.
And it was a tough choice because it was essentially the same offer. But I kind of liked the fact that, one, I knew a bit more of the history of South and that they've been a pretty prestigious club. Yeah. And seeing that they finished, I think it was in 7th last year, I was like, I'd like to help them get back to where they were. Yep. And it doesn't help. I mean, it doesn't hurt being so central to Melbourne. So the location definitely played a bit of a factor. But I was nervous because I was talking to Jono, and when I had made my decision to play for South, I had to send him a message, and I was like, oh, I've chosen another team. And he was like, oh, are you going outside of Australia? You're staying in Australia? And I was like, I'm staying in Australia, but I didn't tell him where because I was nervous. And then, of course, the schedule gets released, and Heidelberg's the first game of the year. So that's what I get for trying to be sneaky or whatever.
That was you.
Yeah.
You're the reason we played the derby first. That's hilarious. Yeah. I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. Damn, what could have been teammates.
Exactly.
Oh, well. So South, where are we at the moment, got about 3 games to play. Mm-hmm. Finals looks like more than likely going to happen. So
I think yesterday helped us. I don't know if we can say secure because... Yeah, I still don't know what this league.
It's crazy. But just like
it definitely put us in a better position. But it's been going well. Like we've had our ups and downs. I think we hoped for a bit more results. Like we've gotten some draws that probably should have been wins, but still in a decent position. So I'm pretty happy with how it's gone so far.
Yeah, sweet. I want to ask you about a little project you've been working on. And it would be cool for people that are listening if it's something that they might want to get involved in. Yeah. It's called the Players Network. Yeah. Tell us about that.
So this is my new little baby. It actually only started in January, so
6 months.
Yeah, exactly. We're still working it out. But myself and 2 other pro players that I train with back at home, we were sitting one day just talking, kind of complaining about our agents and how difficult it is to find teams and just the lifestyle of playing abroad, because there's a bunch of people out there playing abroad that I felt like there needed to be a community or a place for people to go to kind of talk about the struggles or what they need help with. Because as I've gotten older, less of my friends play, And when I go to complain to them about like, oh, like I can't speak the language, I'm living in Sweden, they're like, I can't relate, I have a baby, I'm living in America. I'm like, you're right.
Yeah, right.
So I just felt like it was a good place to be able to kind of connect people.
Yeah.
So we have a WhatsApp group that has, I think, like 36 players in it from around the world that are playing in different leagues, different countries. And they kind of ask questions of like, what do you know about this agent? I'm going to move to Spain. What do I need to know about the culture? I'm about to move to France. I have to find my own apartment. Can you help? And it's been so cool to see the way players are willing to help each other.
Yeah.
And even like connecting people with other teams. Like my friend in Australia, my friend in Denmark, who's Australian, helped connect me here.
Right.
And I've just seen so much of that in the women's game where it's people reaching out like, hey, does your team need a player? And they're like, sure, here's my coach's email. And I think that's pretty special to the women's football community. Like, I don't know that you'd see that in men's football and that they'd be willing to help each other same way.
Probably not.
So we're kind of trying to lean into that. And yeah, just help players stay a bit more connected if they're playing away from home.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of it is actually like who you know, not what you know.
Yeah.
Like getting connections, even like getting emails, numbers.
Yeah.
Like it helps, goes miles. So to have, like a bit of a hub to all come in and talk about that. Yeah. Cool. So do you have an Instagram or?
Yeah, the Instagram is @theplayers_network with _.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah, and we post, I don't know, try to post some helpful things. We posted a packing checklist for players who've just signed new contracts and are about to move. Or we posted something about transfer windows because I feel like that's something that's players want to know about, and it's out there, but it requires a lot of research. So we're just trying to like create little guides that help people understand the process of playing abroad, when those windows are, when seasons start, so you can kind of time out where you're trying to play.
Yeah, map it out.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Good on you.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to move on to some questions.
Okay. I'm curious to see who filled out the little question box.
Yeah. It was good. Like when you shared it, it's just funny. Like I like the real personal ones and like the sort of inside jokes. I think it's nice. I have a couple from me first.
Okay.
What do you think the hardest and easiest thing is about centre back?
I think,
because I might get a bit of hate for this, but I think it's the easiest position.
My soul. I was actually watching something on Instagram today where someone was going around the streets asking like, what's the easiest position? And a lot of people said center back.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I'm not surprised.
Like I played there for most of one season, probably like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like maybe at this level it might be different, but you know, everything's ahead of you. You've kind of always got the keeper. You've got left and right.
Yeah.
You've got everything. Whereas like if you think of 9, like not having a back to goal, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Like I just think it's, or even like fullbacks.
Yeah.
Because you can.
And you can use the sideline when you're defending, and you have.
Yeah. But then even then you run out of room out wide. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Bri.
I hear what you're saying. I have to disagree because I'm a center back, but I understand.
No, tell me why. Why?
I think the hardest part is probably having to be the organizer.
Yeah.
Like,
communicator.
Yeah.
Which you're very good at, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I got yelled at for not being a good one in college, so I quickly learned.
You're like, okay, I won't shut up.
But after you've just like made a sprint and then you're like,
trying to organize.
Yeah. But I enjoy it now, and that plays into the easiest part. If you're a good communicator and organizer, and you can like organize your midfield in front of you, then you end up not having to do as much work. Because then they're doing the defending in front of you, and you're just like, thanks for listening.
To your left, right shoulder.
Yeah.
Stop them, tackle.
Yeah.
I don't want a ball. I don't want the ball. That's the best.
Yeah.
What's the easiest part? Everything, right?
I would say
people like
probably I really don't have to run much. Like every now and then I have to chase players, but it's a lot of just like side to side movements.
Yeah.
Truly my longest runs are when I have to go up to corner kicks and then recover. But that's probably the easiest part.
Yeah, right. I've got to say, as like I'm not a 9, but I've played there before, and like hearing, like you were a great example because that was my job to mark you.
Yeah, I remember that. I was like, don't you want to have fun? Yeah. Like, you go play and then I can play.
I know. I did want to play. I was like, man, I've got to follow Bri around in the game. But I remember, like, when you hear your centre back talking a lot, it's quite intimidating.
Which
it's like,
I've never been on the other side of that.
Yeah.
So I find it interesting hearing that from forwards because
you won't often hear, because obviously you're trying to organise everyone from the back.
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't experience that because the strikers generally being told.
Right, they're the ones doing the listening.
Yeah, or like starting the press or whatever, like if you're going to drop, whatever. But yeah, definitely. I wanted to ask about your Christian faith and how that sort of helped throughout your life. Is that something you've just always known?
I kind of grew up in a church household and I went to Catholic school growing up. But my faith kind of changed when I was in college. I was introduced in the fact that like I could have a relationship with God in my sport, and like those two kind of blended together, which I never really saw, which has been really cool. And I've seen it play out going forward. I seen it help me so much, even in terms of community. Like any new country that I've gone to, I usually try to find a church because there's people there that I know have similar beliefs. And it's a quick way to make friends. Like, obviously I go to a team, I have my teammates that are my immediate friends, but I do like having friends outside of football when I don't want to talk about football. So that's been really helpful. And even just the times where I feel like lonely or alone, I do feel like my faith has kind of like reminded me of like, this was the path that I was meant to take. I'm in the right place. And it kind of makes those hard moments a bit easier. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Kieran wants to know the toughest striker to play against.
Yeah, it's Akina.
Yeah. Do you want to think about that?
Yeah, I don't need to think about it. And I'm thinking about how to play her again in a few weeks. She's powerful. She's strong.
She's Harlan.
Yeah, she really is. She doesn't stop.
Yeah, and so clinical.
Yeah, and I feel like as a forward, she reads the game pretty well. Like, she can kind of see the passes that I'm trying to make and will like force me the other way, which requires me to think a little bit more. Yeah. So she definitely keeps me on my toes.
Yeah, she's been super impressive. She's kind of just took the mickey a bit this year, to be honest. Like, to come in and score that sheer amount of goals. Yeah. And she's like, I don't know if she speaks a lot of English, but from like little bits when like Rihanna was speaking with her, she's obviously from Japan. She seems really lovely.
She's very pleasant. Like the times that she's like tackled me or something, she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Yeah, she's like seems like loving her life. Yeah, like it's so good to see. So good on her. Alex Sinclair, biggest challenge playing football in a different country.
Not necessarily relevant here, but being in countries where I don't speak the language, very difficult.
Did they in Denmark at the paper mill?
Oh my gosh. the Swedish town that I was in spoke very little English. Even my teammates were a bit more hesitant. But when I was in Denmark, I was in Copenhagen, which was a bit more of an international city. Yeah. And that seems to be the case. Like, everybody can pretty much speak English, but they don't want to, or they don't feel comfortable doing it.
Just to get...
which made it hard to make friends on the team that weren't other internationals. Like in Denmark, I don't think I had my first real Danish friend until about a year and a half in. Yeah, right. So, because like I just want to be friends with my teammates, but it's just a bit harder when you're like using broken English, and I'm like, I want to talk to you. Yeah. I feel like you're a cool person, but we just can't communicate.
Yeah, that's so frustrating. Yeah, that's a good answer. Most difficult opponent, Alex as well. Oh, sorry. This is Akeisha. Okay. She wants to know the most difficult opponent. We just spoke about that. And team to play. What about team as a whole? I mean, you couldn't beat Heidelberg.
I know. You guys got our number for the season. But truly, I do think it might be you guys because I think you guys prepare so well against us. Like your game plan to neutralize us makes it very difficult for us to be successful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Caitlin Pickett, favorite Harry Potter character?
So I'm a new Harry Potter person. I only read all the books for the first time last year and watched the movies for the first time last year.
Yes.
And Caitlin's like diehard Harry Potter fan.
She asked Charlie Grant as well the same thing.
So I'm still new to it. I would probably say Hermione. Like, I feel like I grew to like her a little bit more as the seasons go on. She's still a little bit annoying, but out of all of them, I think she's my favorite.
Yeah.
I kind of like that she's a bit of a smartass.
Yeah. She's intelligent.
Yeah.
Yeah. And tells the boys.
Yeah.
Bosses them around.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because I've been wanting to get to Kat Goff's cinema
Harry Potter nights.
Damn.
I know she's gallivanting in Europe, but when she comes back,
yes, we'll have
we need to do one because her movie theater room in her apartment is.
How cool.
They've got like reclining chairs. It's got the blackout shades, the big screen. We bring popcorn, donuts, whatever. It's a good time.
Yeah, that group chat was going off. I was like, oh, I've got FOMO.
Yeah, we got to get one more in.
Let's do it. Mum, thanks for the love, Mum. As always. Always a question. Even if she doesn't know. Actually, it was when it was Zim's. Yeah. She obviously wouldn't have a clue who it is. And she's just like, yeah, I have a question. Who is that? I was like, I'm not saying that. Who are you? Like, get real deep. No. I'm like, come on, Mum. Just don't ask one. Cat or dog person?
I am very much a dog person. However, I am coming around to cats.
Okay. Opening up to cats.
Yes, I'm trying.
Yes.
I had one growing up that he was an orange cat and he was crazy and I didn't like him.
It's always the orange cat.
So he kind of ruined my feelings for cats. And I've always been like, ugh, cats. But I live with one now and he's like this, he's kind of like a street cat. Like he doesn't live in the house, but he's got like a little bed in the yard under like some shelter. And he'll like follow me around when I walk outside and like, I feel like he wants to be friends and maybe I want to be friends, but we're like at a distance, like trying to figure out how this relationship is going to work.
Just like staring.
Like I say hello, but from a distance.
Oh, I find a lot of dog people hate cats.
Yeah.
But cat people are always open with dogs. Mm-hmm. Like, what is this thing against cats?
I don't know why. Dog people are very strongly like, ugh, cats.
Yeah.
And I have been one of those.
Yes.
But I'm trying to be different.
You're growing. It's good. It's fun. I get like, if you're allergic and like if they scare you with like biting and stuff,
yeah,
you could say the same for dogs.
Yes,
like I'm pretty sure I'd rather be bitten by a cat.
Cats don't bark.
Yeah, that. Yes, and don't shed as much hair. Most cats, anyway. Anyway, Gabby, what do you do to de-stress from soccer?
I have become a huge puzzle lover.
Yes. Me too.
Yeah. I think I was interested before lockdown, before COVID, but during COVID, I just like bought a whole bunch of puzzles and it was just, I just love it. Even now, like I haven't gotten to do so many when I've been here, but I would just like set up a table and leave it. And when I just needed to not think about anything, I'd put on some music or a podcast and just like sit there separating my colors, putting it all together. And it's, I love it.
Oh my gosh,
so much.
I've done that. I have finished The Simpsons.
Yes, I see this one hanging on your wall. Yes. I do the same though. I'll get the puzzle glue and keep them together. And like in my basement at home, I have like a stack of 5. And my mom's like, what are you going to do with these? I was like, I don't know, but don't throw them away.
Do not touch them. Mum, they are my pride and joy. That's so funny because again, some people think puzzles suck.
Yeah. I mean, I can't relate, but the people who are like, oh, it's like, it requires a lot for your brain.
It's good.
It's good for your brain.
Yeah.
But I can understand how it's not relaxing because I've done it with people who are like, oh, this is frustrating, like all these colors. And I'm like,
oh, yeah, if it's too hard.
Yeah.
Or people that can't sit still.
Yes.
Either. Mm-hmm. Like they're like, I'm bored.
Yes.
Nah, okay.
That's your problem.
kind of fair, but like relax a little.
Yeah.
Do like find that
Go
piece.
for a walk.
Yeah. I think if they're like, well, I love The Simpsons, so that to me was just like so much fun, like trying to find and even like seeing all the different characters. Yeah, if it's something that you're like interested in, because some of them are like so hard.
My friend, he gave me a puzzle that was,
How many pieces?
It was 500 pieces, but it was Dalmatians all over, and they were overlapping. And then on the back of the puzzle, the whole picture was the same, but rotated 90 degrees. So it was a front and back puzzle, and then rotated. It was the most difficult thing.
Oh my
God! I tried to do it on a glass table so that I could like lay underneath the table and see if it lined up. It's still sitting in my room, and I don't know if I'll ever try it again.
Did you like? Nah.
I think I got the borders, but then when it came to the middle, I was like, it's double-sided. All there are black and white spots. Like, I don't know how to do this.
Oh my gosh. That sounds horrific.
Yeah, it was.
It's too hard.
Almost scarring.
Gabby as well, pre-game rituals, if you have any.
Not any, like, standard ones. Someone pointed out to me that I always sit on the ground in the locker room before a game, which I didn't realize, but now I'm more aware of it. And yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm like grounding before the game, but I like just sitting on the floor, whether it's stretching or just sitting there visualizing.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I think I do every game.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. New beer?
Mm-hmm.
When are you going back to Jersey?
I will come back home at the end of the season, so I think around mid-September I'll be home for a little bit.
Exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited to go home, see my family and friends.
Julian wants to know who your favourite neighbours were in Birchwoods.
He is part of my favorite neighbours. So I lived in an apartment complex, and we had a bunch of football players who lived beneath us, and they were annoying at first until they became our friends. But then they would just like come upstairs, raid our apartment, come in, cause havoc, and just like knock over all our Tupperware and turn shit upside down. And I was like, why are you doing this? But they're great people. I know it doesn't sound like it, but they were a good time.
Oh my gosh.
They were a good time.
Be like, get out. Someone from overseas, I'm assuming. Lege?
Yeah, she's Danish.
How are you so good at falling while running? Gymnastics.
Yes, 100%. I've learned how to tuck and roll very well.
So graceful.
Yeah.
That's not fun.
I know. Fun. It's no fun, but it looks cool on videos.
Oh my gosh. South Melbourne Ladies Active Support Instagram page. Mm-hmm. What have you enjoyed most about being part of the Hellas community?
One thing I really appreciate about playing abroad is just getting to experience different cultures and different people. And I had no idea of the heavy Greek influence that was in Melbourne until I did my research before I was coming. And I think it said it has the biggest population of Greeks outside of Greece.
Yeah.
And I was like, why Melbourne, Australia?
Yeah. Everywhere.
Yeah. But it's been fun because I would never have expected to like experience so much Greek culture. I've never been to Greece, but I live with a little Greek grandma, a yaya.
Aww.
So I've been like very much in the Greek culture, and I can just see how like family oriented, like they've really welcomed me in since I've come there. So I've appreciated that.
Yeah. Oh, that's so lovely. Right. Time to test your Aussie.
Okay, it's game time.
Aussie knowledge. We're going to do a guess the slang.
Okay.
Do you
I know
much?
so little. I feel like it took me about 2 months to learn what Arvo was. I had to Google that one.
Arvo?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Because they were like, oh yeah, we'll just meet in the Arvo. And I was like, I know it's not. Yeah. I was like, I know this is not avocado. Like, I'm not that dumb. But I don't know what this means.
Wow. Arvo's so, yeah, like, I say that all the time.
Yeah.
Arvo. What else? Avo? Unpopular opinion. I think it's gross.
What?
Avocado.
Same.
Oh,
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Like
so whenever you go to the cafes and they're like, Avo smashed with eggs, I'm like,
disgusting.
Yeah.
Avocado's definitely a trend. It'll die.
They're expensive
and
though,
they're
man.
expensive. Yeah. Who wants to pay? Like what? $1.50, $2 each? No. Not me. Not me. I'm good. Alright. Just so we're clear, I don't use... There's only one of these... 2 of these that I actually say.
Okay.
Like, I would actually say. They're very, like, exaggerated. So the first one is drongo.
Oh, gosh.
If someone is a bit of a drongo, what do you think that means?
A bit of a drongo. Are they like a joker? Like the funny person?
Drongo, yeah, sort of. Now I'm even trying to think how to explain it. Google drongo. A stupid or incompetent person.
I've never heard that one before either.
You might not. Because clearly I don't know what it means. Next one's Sheila.
Sheila. Okay. I know this one because they use it in Finding Nemo. But did they use it in Finding Nemo right? They're like, oh, that little Sheila. Oh. So I'm going to guess it's like a girl or like a cute girl or something.
Yeah. Good job. Yeah.
Disney movies coming in handy.
Good old Disney. So you go to the pub and like pick up a Sheila.
Okay.
Like, it's a bit feral. Like, again, I don't say that. It's very like old.
Okay.
Yui.
Okay, if it's the same as it is in the U.S., you make a U-turn.
Yes.
Yeah, we use that.
Good.
We would say like bang a Yui if you need to make a U-turn.
Bang a Yui.
Yeah.
We say chuck a Yui.
Okay. Very similar.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. Cool.
Yeah. I don't know that everyone in America does that. Like it might be a New Jersey thing. But yeah, we have some common terms.
Esky.
Oh, that's the little cooler. We would call it a cooler, yeah. So right. Is Esky the brand, or is that what the cooler is called?
I think Esky is like a OG sort of brand.
Okay.
That stemmed the nickname of Esky, but it's like a noun now. Like
okay.
We say Esky.
Even if the brand isn't Esky, you'll call it an Esky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
100%. Do you know what New Zealand people call Eskies?
What?
Chili bins.
I mean, I guess that's logical.
You're doing quite well, actually.
Thank you.
You got 3 out of 4. Dunny.
Nah, see, I'm probably going to stuck at 3 out of 5. Dunny. Can you use it in a sentence?
Without giving it away?
Okay, yeah,
really?
That might be difficult.
Where's your dunny?
Yeah, see, that didn't even help.
Excuse me, where's the Dunnings?
Where's the toilet?
Yeah. Yeah, it's toilet.
Okay.
Like loo, dunny. Do you say loo?
We say, like, if you were saying properly, like, where's the restroom?
Yeah, restroom or washroom.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In Canada, they say washroom.
Yeah.
Where's a washroom?
Yeah.
What are you washing yourself
It's funny because people say toilet here a lot, and, like, sometimes they'll say, like, where's the bathroom?
Yeah.
And it's not that people look at me funny, but they're like, oh, she means toilet. And I just feel like toilet, I'm looking for the bathroom. Like, it's not just a toilet. There's also a place where you wash your hands.
Not just the toilet. No, I say bathroom sometimes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and you'll see signs around bathroom.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but washroom?
No,
are we showering?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
And I think in some European countries, it's even like wash closet. And I'm like,
oh, it's going too far. Toilet.
Yeah.
That's what
that gets to the point.
Yeah. Or loo is like, and I think that's like the
polite version.
Yeah, it's like, oh, can I use your loo? It sounds English, maybe it's English. I don't know. All right. Now I have some pictures.
Okay.
Of famous Aussies for you.
Okay. I hope you pick
We've got 7
main famous ones.
Yes. First one, and I'll put these up on YouTube for those that want to play along.
Rebel Wilson.
Yeah. Ding.
I feel like I can easily tell you faces and what movies they're in, but the names I'm not so good at, but I know Rebel.
No, she's quite famous.
Yeah.
She's in a lot of movies.
I didn't know she was Aussie. See, this is what I like about this game. I'm going to learn.
Yes.
Oh, man. That face.
Do you know what? He's actually born in New Zealand, but we kind of like adopted him.
You guys claim him?
Yeah, because he spent his whole childhood in
Okay.
Oz.
What's the first letter of his name?
R.
Richard. I don't know.
R-U.
Rupert.
Russell
Crowe?
Yeah.
He's okay.
Russell
I don't know
Crowe.
why I thought he was Canadian.
No, yeah. Well, no, he's not.
I guess because also when he acts in movies, I feel like he often has an American accent.
100%.
So wow, that one's surprising.
Yeah. Yeah, he's Kiwi. It's funny, some Kiwis you talk to say you can have him.
Okay, and others like, no, he's ours.
And then others are like, oh, he's from New Zealand. I actually don't know how well liked Russell Crowe is. But he was on that Gladiator movie, and that's a fire movie.
Oh, yeah, that is a
watch
good
that
movie.
again.
That's a classic.
Okay, next one.
Okay. Every time I see her, I want to say Keira Knightley, but I know that's wrong.
Oh, no.
I'm trying to make her face to see if it helps me. Kate.
It's not Kate.
Oh!
Starts with an N.
Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was like, she has the same name as me.
There we go.
Nicole Kidman. I'll give you that one.
I got a half a check.
And this guy.
Oh my gosh.
Who's actually married to Nicole Kidman. He's also Australian.
Wait, they're both Australian?
Yeah. Ugh. He's a singer.
I'm so upset at myself. Russell Crowe. No, we just did that.
Russell Crowe again, you're right. Starts with a K. He's like a country music singer.
Oh, that's not Keith Urban, is it?
Yeah.
He's Aussie. And he sings country music.
Yeah.
Look at that.
He's so Australian. I hope. Yeah, no, he is. Well, oh God, now I'm second guessing myself. Okay, if you do not know this one,
okay,
you're gonna have to
leave. You can kick me out.
Yeah.
Oh, Steve Irwin.
Yeah. Phew. The best.
I'm cultured enough to know that at least. Thank goodness.
I feel like everyone in the world should know who that is.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got two more.
Okay.
You're doing pretty well.
I mean, I've had some help. I've had some hints.
Yeah. Some hints.
Oh, I'm trying to picture his face in a movie, and then maybe that'll help me remember his name.
Oh, he's in heaps, but I couldn't tell you one.
I know those eyes. He looks angry. The scene that I'm seeing, he looks angry. What's his name? I'm not going to get this one.
Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Dang. I'm not going to give you that one.
No, you don't have to. I didn't even try.
And last but not least.
Hemsworth.
Yes.
And this one
is like lives in the shadow.
Yeah, this is Liam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Chris, I think, is blonder.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Chris is hotter too.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, depends who you ask.
I agree. Chris is hotter in my opinion.
Liam Hemsworth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 7.
Okay.
You know
that's
what?
a passing grade.
You're pretty cultured. I like it. Now that we've got that out of the way, you're Drongo. You're not a Drongo.
I'm going to start using that around my teammates. I'm going to be like, where did you learn this?
Who have you been around?
Am I going to use it wrong too?
Maybe. I don't even know how to use it that well. I feel like it's, if someone was really drunk at a pub, like, oh, look at that Drongo.
Okay.
A bit? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, just like clean yourself up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my
okay. That's what we'll go with.
Yeah. Right. Now, as everyone knows, the WNPL or MPLW, depending what state you're in, Dream Team is how we end all of our episodes. So you've only been playing.
Yeah, I'm still a fairly newbie, so this part actually like made me nervous, and I had to do research because I was like, I know some players, but like even to this day, our coach will be like, "Oh, giving the breakdown of teams," and he's throwing around names, and I'm like, "Can you please just tell me a position? I don't know these people yet."
Same. I'm like, what number?
Yeah.
What do they look like?
Exactly.
What boots do they wear? Give me something.
Okay.
Okay. So
I need to use my phone because I had to do some research.
That's okay. That's common practice. Everyone's got it on their notes.
So my team is going to be very international.
Yeah.
Just because I'm an international and I can relate to those players.
That's okay.
Except for my goalkeeper. My goalkeeper is actually Christina Esposito.
Okay.
She plays for South. She was our goalkeeper, intended to be our starting goalkeeper for the season, but in preseason tore her ACL.
Right. I did hear about that.
Yeah.
Is she from Melbourne?
She's from New South Wales.
Right.
But I got to play a few preseason games with her, and I really enjoyed it, and I felt like we were starting to get a good relationship, and I was like very excited for the season. So I still think when she's healthy, she would be my choice.
Christina Esposito in goals?
Yes.
Yep. Who's in your, what did you call it? I was going to say outback.
My outside backs, my full backs.
Outside backs? Right back, left back?
Okay, I have Delaney Lindahl from Preston. She played fullback yesterday, so I know she can at least play defense. I don't know if that's her natural position.
Okay.
But she played there yesterday, and I thought she did very well.
Preston, yep, good player.
I don't think she's international, but she plays for Emerging, and I know her last name's Lim.
Lim?
I think that's
Burundara.
it. Oh, is she in Burundara? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Super quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, like rapid. Yeah, no, that's her.
Yeah.
Yep, Burundara.
There's center back at Boleyn Beck.
Katie Beck.
Yep.
Yep.
And then I'm going to put myself in there.
Nice. Alright,
Okay.
we've got the defence locked and loaded.
Yes.
Who else?
Okay, for my midfielders, I have Alexis Mitchell from Calder.
Alexis Mitchell.
Mm-hmm. I think I played against her. I played in that Ultra 4v4 tournament at the beginning of the year.
Okay.
It was like indoor at Ultra and like a little in their cage that's in there.
I love Ultra football. That
yeah,
place is a ball.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
But I played against her in there. I didn't know she was American then at the time.
I didn't know either.
But watched her play a few times. She's a little tricky. Shifty.
Little trickster.
Yeah. I'm actually going to put Riona from your team.
Oh.
I think she's very good.
She's the best. She'll love
Just
that.
so solid.
Yeah. Riona Amia, everyone.
Yeah. And I think her last name, she's a midfielder for Box Hill. I believe she's a Japanese player, Maria. It's Moriya. Okay, and then my attackers, Zim is making my list.
Zim, up top.
Yeah.
Love.
Definitely Aquino. Yeah.
Yeah, unreal.
Can't stand playing against her.
Yeah. Oh, everyone's nightmare. She's
Yeah.
a robot. She's got 29 goals this year.
Jeez. And there's still potentially 5 games left.
Yes.
It's crazy.
I'm scared.
And then I have Diva. I think her first name is Kayla. Kayla Diva from Bayside.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great player. She's been scoring a few goals too.
Yeah, she scored a banger this weekend. Yeah.
Right. 11. Cool.
I got it.
Do you have a coach? Any coach you've had?
Yeah. I would pick... Her name is Carmelina Moscato. I had her when I was playing in Denmark.
Does she have Instagram?
She does.
Okay. You can tag her.
Yeah, she was actually my first ever female head coach.
Oh.
And she was just awesome. She was tactically, she was so smart. She played for the Canadian national team.
Cool.
And she was also just a very good player manager.
Yep.
And I learned a lot under her. So that would be my coach.
Growing up, did you not have many female coaches?
No, my first female coach
college?
I had in college. She was like our defensive coach. And I give her a lot of credit for like teaching me how to be a defender. But yeah, I've only had 2 over my entire career. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what? I've only had 1.
Yeah.
Or 2. So one at state when I was like 12. And then the other one was last year for the past 2 years. Yeah, right. Huh. Interesting. Bit male dominated.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you got through. Well done.
Yes, I did it.
Yeah, good luck for the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you very much. And to you guys again.
Yes,
I won't have to play you guys again, so thank goodness.
No. All right. Thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. This was fun.
I'd love to chat. And if you want to check it out on YouTube, Kick Like a Girl on YouTube and our Instagram as well, Kick Like a Girl. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.